Welcome to Belief Busters Podcast, where we change the world one belief at a time. True transformation happens when we question if the beliefs we hold are of truth, or simply someone else's belief that we have internalized as our own. I'm your host, Rev. Cherie Taylor-Jones, and I'm glad you could join us on the journey. Today we have Dr. Charles D. Geddes. He is a founding member of the Big Sky Retreat, the oldest ongoing metaphysical retreat in the world. He has 50 years of ministry and served on the board of directors of International Centers for Spiritual Living. He was awarded an honorary doctorate for his years of contributions and in 2004 voted Minister of the Year. In 2019, he received a Doctor of Divinity from the affiliated New Thought Network. He is the emeritus founder of Bridges Spiritual Centers in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In 2020, he started a new endeavor. He launched a new nonprofit, MYOB, Mind Your Own Becoming, which is devoted to addressing key issues of our time to create healing dialogue together, enriching our lives mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And he's all abuzz because he is moving to Montana. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and a joy. I'm so grateful to be a part of your Belief Busters, and particularly in aging,
Yes.
because I feel I am definitely qualified. I will be 80 in September, and so I'm looking forward to your questions and reflections and thoughts of however I can bring to whomever is listening and taking this in, of how vital it is for you to realize, for you to really take into your heart that the soul is timeless, the soul is ageless, and that there's an inner child within us that is forever present. And if we do not lose sight of that, if we remember that, then we age with grace. And we have more energy, vitality than ever, because the child is always curious and opening to new things.
Amen. Well, that's a wrap.
That's
That's
it.
fabulous.
I'm so glad to have been here.
Exactly. And that's the reason that I'm so excited to have you on this program to talk about aging, because you model exceptional vitality and what if and possibilities and let's do it. And it's wonderful to behold. And so what I want to do is do a little deconstructing. So let's start in the beginning. When you thought about aging, I mean, what were your indoctrinated beliefs about that?
Being born 1941, and at that point in time, and for really almost decades forward, the aging factor was that at 50, slow down, and at 60, countdown. And that do your trips, do your cruises, do your dream trips that you planned all those years. And in the meantime, that's really what I was brought up and in. But there was a part of me that never did identify with that because it didn't make any sense to me. I think I always carried that, what I referenced in what I offered at the very beginning, that childlike being. And so that's carried me through my life, and in that, through dark moments and great moments. But the bottom line, it's when you buy in to the beliefs about aging, you will age. And I have never sought to buy in to those beliefs because they are rooted in untruths and lies and that we are as vital and youthful. Yes, things occur and happen, but things occur and happen at any age.
Correct.
And so I don't identify my aging with lack of health, lack of energy, lack of anything. I wake up every morning with gratitude in my heart that I have another day of vital living.
Beautifully said. I have to tell you that when I was 35 years old, on my birthday, I sobbed. My life was over. You know? I mean, so that's, for
Wow.
women, you know, the indoctrination is like once you are getting close to the end of childbearing time, your life is over. You're worthless. And so it's really wonderful to hear that you buck the indoctrination, you know? And I had a similar process in that for myself, but I am interested in how were you able to buck that and claim your truth about aging?
I want to reflect upon because it just came through and it's an important thing because in everything that I just said so enthusiastically, when I turned 50, it was a devastating dark night of the soul because I had created and established a wonderful group in Los Angeles called Together to Grow, which was an HIV/AIDS support group at that time. And it was falling apart. It was, everyone around me was going, and it was a horrific sense of loss. And when I had to release that group, it was a great sense of personal failure. And I had a cathartic journey through that whole year of intense nosebleeds and unrelenting that they wouldn't stop. And by the end of the year, I had emotionally, physically collapsed. And I was in a place that in that moment, I just wanted to will myself out of my body. I was in that place of darkness, and I thought, I can do this. I just want to go home. And my angel guides, which I believe in, my angel guides said, Charles, will you tell us what you want? What do you want? And I said, I want to know what Jesus meant when he said that the peace I give unto you is the peace that passeth understanding. Wow, what does that mean? And they said, we will teach you that if you're willing to do two things. If you are willing to let go of every dream, of every goal you have right now, let it go. And if you are willing to bless the ground upon which you stand as holy ground, if you are willing to do those two things, we will teach you what he meant. And I committed to that.
Wow.
And it wasn't overnight. It took a year and a half, but I got it. Life is not about, as much as we teach in this philosophy and teaching of New Thought, life is not about what you've attained. It's what you've gained through knowledge and practice, spiritual practice. And what you realize is more important than anything. It's the heart print you make upon others. That's all that matters. And when I got that, I moved on, moved forward. That child was reborn. And that was a significant moment in my life.
That's powerful. That sense of really being clear on what our purpose is as divine human beings, simply to love each
Yes.
other.
Yeah.
As simple as that is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. As pure as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's led me to where I am at this moment. I could choose to be comfortable, but life is not about being comfortable. And our times are not about being comfortable. Our times are calling us to step into dialogue that's extremely uncomfortable, but that's vital for the future generations, so that future generations can be coming into love and equality that we all say in our prayers and what we really truly want. But the bottom line, excuse me, no, that's not what we're seeing. And I want to be a part in whatever years I have, whatever those precious years are, to creating the kind of dialogue that moves people to action in their communities, in their awareness, to say, I want to be a part of change and heart prints, to love one another with equality and regard and justice truly for everyone.
Wow, heart prints. I love that phrase. I'll be borrowing that, Charles. You'll hear it in one of my sermons, I'm sure.
I'm grateful. That's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And so what I'm hearing from you is that you've stopped one part of your life, and at this point, at 79 years old, you are taking on something new, bold, passionate. How are you able to do that? Say more, please.
By believing in calls, I believe that we all are called on to be in greater service more than ever. And that when all through my life, because I've been in ministry 50 years, so the word call has great significance to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had major changes when they've come forth. One of the key things, are you willing to let go? Again, back to that principle. Are you willing to let go of everything as you've known it? Are you willing to go forward now with a whole new intention, a whole new purpose, and release the past, stepping into a new potency of the present moment now? And that this current call is about that. And how am I doing it? Wow. I was sitting meditating this morning and looking around my home, beginning to pack and organize. And I've been in a comfortable, sweet place for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, let it go. Let it go. Yes, you can. You can do this. You can do this. And you keep on. Yes, I can. I can do this. And whatever we're facing in life, and I've had my health challenges, I've had my moments, I've had my grief, but everything, so vital, Cherie, Reverend Cherie, that remember everything comes to pass. Nothing is here to last except that love. Everything comes to pass. The dark moments come to pass. Even the fun, the laughter comes to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But love endures. Love is the impetus of what brought us into this being to begin with. In the beginning was the Word, and there was not anything that was brought forth without it. That Word is love. That Word is love. And it brought you here, it brought me here to love one another, to really understand what that meant. All the great mystics taught that. And the mystics are timeless because they're ageless. And all I want to have a sense, when people ask me, what do I want people to remember about me? I said, oh my God, if only that when people think of me, when I've been called home, and the first thing that happens is a smile. You know? God, he was an odd guy, but you know what? You know what? I was moved by him. I was touched by him. That's all we can ask for in whatever we do. And never step back in aging and saying it's countdown time. It's rise up. Excuse me.
Yes.
If you're waking up today and you have the gift of breath and life, rise up to it. Give more, love more, be more.
Yeah, absolutely. How can we help our listeners to kind of get unstuck from that mentality that once we hit a certain point of age, you know, life is over, we can't start over, we've missed the mark? How do we get them to really embrace wherever they are in this moment as the perfect, profound moment of their life?
I stay consistent in looking for the blessings in my life. And I refer to two things, that we have two choices in life, better or bitter. And I choose better. So a part of this transcending aging is, where am I today? I choose better, not bitter. I don't choose to look back on regrets. I honor that I have moments that I can observe in non-judgment and say, wow, not doing that again. But I don't carry regrets. I don't want to choose to carry shame or guilt forward. I want to clear it. And so the more that we are able to look in that mirror and see a light-filled being, someone that is affirmative and ready to go in this day, and looking around, oh my God, be in nature, take walks, eat wisely, alcohol, drink less, or not at all. Look at what supports you in your energy and vitality and give everything to that. And have friends that support you. Look at the people around you. Are they in affirmative, caring dialogue? Are they about change and evolution and growth? Are they about looking backwards? And if onlys, if onlys. I don't do if onlys. I do. Yes, I can. Excuse me. I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Fabulous. What's one thing you want folks to walk away from this conversation knowing and shifting and growing into?
Okay, I want to close actually with a statement that is by a beloved friend that was a part of the Big Sky Retreat founding board, who has been called home quite a while ago, but she wrote a book called The Aspiring Mystic, Reverend Helen Brungart Pope. And I live by this. I live by grace. I live by grace alone. Grace is the key to everything, to timelessness, to love, to everything that's vital in our hearts and souls to be. And I want to quote what she said about grace, because I live by this. Grace is simply the everywhere present, perpetually active gift of divine love. And since it is a gift, it cannot be earned, only accepted. For the aspiring mystic, the idea is not only to experience grace, but to remain in grace. For to remain in grace is to accept the gift of God's love. To remain in grace is to be the activity of God's love in expression. And to remain in grace is to allow the divine to become our companion. The divine personifies itself in all whom we meet, and the divine may personify itself as some person who comes into our life as an expression of love. I live by that. And Reverend Cherie, you've come into my life as an expression of love. And I am moving to Montana. I have created in Helena, Montana, a group of people that I never knew before this call began to take place. Holy Spirit revealed them, and I already have a family, many that I've never met one-on-one, that I'm coming to be a part of, that are welcoming. That's how grace works. Grace leads the way, paves the way every day. Believe, trust in it, and you will be timeless, and you will age with grace, because people will see something in you. Wow, I really want to touch that. I want to know what that is. That's what it's about.
Amen, amen. Now, if people want to get involved in what you're doing, which is MYOB, tell us a little bit about that and how they can work with you.
Wonderful. MYOB, Mind Your Own Becoming. And that we are here to become ever more of what we are intended to be. And the inquiry of what we are to be is ongoing. And that's the most important thing. What am I to be today? What am I to be in this journey forward? And when you work on that, when that's your priority, what you need to do is revealed. It's not the other way around. It's, what do I need to be? And the doing is revealed from that. And MYOB Incorporated, spelled out, .org is the website. MYOB Incorporated, spelled out, .org. And you can find there and the 5 key principles that I live by, that I teach, that are a part of this journey forward for me, that I've reflected upon for the 50 years of my work. And wow, these work. We have Thursday evenings, 7 p.m. And Reverend Cherie, you're going to be on the 11th of March. That is a very open, heartfelt dialogue. But we're doing more. We want to ultimately be educating and be stirring people to action in regards to making changes in their community. Check it out. It's the rest of my life to give my heart and soul to making a difference in this time of immense overwhelm emotionally, when we see so much that is senseless, that is insanity. And it's time that we, whatever age we are, that we do what needs to be happening so future generations wake up to not only timeless aging, but all that matters is that I see in you what I know is in me, and we are together in it equally.
Yes. Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes, it has been an honor to have you on this show. You know, sometimes you just meet people and it's just this cosmic connection and touch. And I really feel that with you. And
Thank you.
I know that we are going to do great things together. And I'm looking forward to that.
I accept. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For our listeners, Belief Buster Posse, I'm just glad that you're on the journey with us. And I'm hoping from this conversation, your takeaway is that you are vital to this planet. You are vital to the change that we are trying to create, where everyone is seen as the precious light of God. Age is a number and it does not define you.
Right.
We'll see you next time on Belief Busters. If you are enjoying these conversations about assessing your belief systems and how to transform outdated beliefs, then please subscribe and give us a positive review. To support this podcast and its transformative work, you can also become a sponsor for as little as $5 a month. You can reach Rev Cherie at info@beliefbusterspodcast.org. To continue on this journey of evolution, you can also get my book, Turning Your Why into Why Not, at Amazon or any other bookstores, which gives you practical tools to do this work. See you next time on the flip side.